Welcome to the deep dive. We all want those key insights without wading through tons of information. That's what we do here. Take source material and pull out what really matter.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at something really unique shared by one of you listeners, someone we're calling the learner. Curious, wants to get it right, but efficiently, loves those aha moments.
Right, and hates information overload. So this source is perfect. It's personal journal entries from a young woman named Irina.
Yeah, so instead of academic analysis, we get her raw, unfiltered thoughts and feelings. Our mission today is basically to follow her story. Coming to Canada, navigating friendships, first loves, finding her identity, and, coping with some pretty big challenges along the way.
And what really struck me is how her story, immigrating from Russia in grade 8, it touches on such universal stuff, like finding where you belong, the messiness of relationships, just figuring yourself out. It feels very relatable, even with the specific details.
Definitely. Okay, so let's dive in. Her arrival in Canada sounds like a bit of a shock, wouldn't you say?
Understatement. What were some of those first hurdles she mentions?
Well, language, obviously. Huge barrier. She has this funny line about trying to ask for the bathroom and sounding like she wanted a spaceship.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can picture that.
And then just cultural stuff we take for granted. Thanksgiving, she thought it was just bird day.
Bird day.
Yeah. And Christmas timing was confusing, different from her Russian Orthodox background. Plus, the Canadian winter, not exactly welcoming.
So feeling pretty lost and out of place initially. But she wasn't totally alone for long, Reg. Something clicked pretty quickly.
Yeah, thank goodness. First day of grade 8, she meets Dani. And this friendship becomes, fundamental. Dani sounds amazing. Thoughtful, well-spoken Sicilian charm, Irina calls her. She helped with everything, class schedule, language.
And defended her against kids teasing her accent. That's huge.
Right. Right away, it was this instant connection. Even though they seemed like opposites, Irina calls herself smart, sassy, bossy.
Huh. And Dani, more thoughtful. It's funny how those pairings work.
Isn't it? And they had shared braces.
Oh, I love that detail, like a weird little sign.
Exactly. A physical thing connecting them. And their friendship, it went deep, fast.
How deep are we talking?
Well, Irina calls Dani her anchor, translator, and partner in crime. The Catholic kind, she jokes. But it was more than just hanging out, sharing secrets, vulnerabilities, crying, panic attacks, homesickness, heartbreak, exam stress.
All the intense teenage stuff.
Totally. And physical closeness, too. Napping together, holding hands. It was this really, really intense bond, almost like a primary relationship in itself.
Okay, and this is where it gets maybe a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Irina hints that it wasn't just platonic, right?
Yeah, there are definite suggestions of, romantic feelings. She mentions kisses, real ones, the kind that steal your breath.
Wow.
It sounds like there was this soft, secret something between them, undefined but powerful, and Dani was just always there for Irina.
That line about Dani being the loudest thing in the world when I need it, that really says something about their loyalty.
It really does. Fierce loyalty. And then they did a blood sister pact.
Whoa, okay. That's serious commitment. It makes you think about how intense those teenage friendships can be, how the lines can blur,
Exactly. Challenges those neat boxes we put relationships in. Okay, so shifting gears a bit, Josh.
Oh, yes, Josh. The fry thief.
Huh. Right. This is not love. This is robbery. Irina's quote. Their start was all playful teasing.
And he was a secret admirer for 2 whole years before anything happened.
Apparently, it took this weird incident with Cucumber late at night to actually break the ice romantically.
A cucumber. Okay, details later, maybe. So their early romance, awkward.
Endearingly awkward, it sounds like. Shared moments at the farm, stacking fencing. Irina talks about her coward mouth being too shy to say things.
Oh, the barn scene, the near kiss.
Yeah.
1 millimeter from rewriting the entire plot of my life. So much drama.
Teenage drama at its peak. But yeah, things got complicated. Dani gets a promise ring from Mike.
Which stirs things up for Irina.
Seems like it. And then the grad dance incident. Brianna slaps Irina. Josh doesn't step in.
Ouch. Okay, so breakup.
Yep.
Breakup. Josh dates Brianna. And Irina declares war. Basically throws herself into schoolwork. Right. Classic heartbreak response, kind of.
Totally. But that wasn't the end for them.
No, thankfully. They eventually reconcile. There's this quiet moment, tea in a cornfield, and Josh just says, I still like you.
Simple, but effective.
Right. Felt like a turning point. When they sneak out late, get suspended, which ironically kind of seals their commitment again.
Yeah.
That rebellious teen logic.
Right. Us against the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a really crucial moment later on, Irina experiences a pregnancy loss.
Oh, that's heavy. How did Josh react?
Incredibly supportive, actually. He said something like, I didn't fall in love with you because you were perfect. I fell in love with you because you're you.
Wow. That's real connection.
It really is. And they eventually get engaged. New Year's Eve, Tiffany rang, the whole deal.
So they found their way back more maturely. Yeah, though Irina admits to being possessive sometimes, setting boundaries. And Josh wants to be part of her whole world, including Dani. It's like they learn to navigate the complexities.
Yeah, okay, so Mike, he was Donnie's long-term boyfriend, but Irina got involved with him too. How did that work?
It's complex. Seems like after the Josh breakup, Irina maybe wanted to feel wanted. And she had moments with Mike, sometimes even when Dani was right there.
Okay, that's unconventional.
Definitely. It suggests a really unusual level of trust, or maybe just very different boundaries within that group. Dani even at one point apparently offered Mike to Irina when Irina was really low.
Offered him? Like,
yeah.
Wow. That friendship dynamic is just something else.
It really is. But Irina eventually realizes that, sleeping with boys isn't fixing the deeper stuff. She steps back from those casual encounters. A moment of self-awareness, it seems.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
A turning point. Okay, let's talk about identity and belonging. That's a huge theme running through this.
Massive. Initially, she felt like a weird spy in Canada, totally out of place, which is so common for immigrants, right? Especially teens.
Absolutely. Trying to fit into a new world while holding on to who you were must have been tough.
Yeah. And funny enough, she joined Air Cadets thinking it might be a path back to Russia somehow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But ironically, it actually gave her a sense of purpose, discipline, belonging here.
Huh. And finding a Russian Orthodox church helped too.
Big time. Reconnecting with her heritage, her roots, that was grounding.
And she started that club, Hearts and Hands. That sounds like her actively creating her own space.
Totally proactive, making a difference, weaving herself in. The principal even told her, you're weaving yourself into the fabric of this community.
That's powerful validation.
It is. And her idea of family expanded. It wasn't just parents. It was Dani, Josh, Mike, this chosen family.
And her brother, Alexander. His memory seems important too.
Very. The Air Cadets flight she took as a tribute to him, it connects that search for belonging with processing her loss.
And the table. That group she started.
Yeah, like a protective circle for those girls. Leading it, then passing the leadership pendant on, that shows real growth. From outsider to creating belonging for others.
Which leads nicely into resilience, Ray.
Yeah.
Because she faced a lot.
She really did. And she's honest about how she reacted at first. Anger, sarcasm, pushing people away, understandable defenses.
Very common when you feel hurt or vulnerable.
Exactly. But she learns to navigate it, all the heartbreak with Josh, the loss of her brother, the pregnancy loss, even insecurities about braces or her accent.
And Dani was key there too.
Yeah.
The supportive but honest friend.
Absolutely. Dani telling her, you're so obsessed with making sense of everything that you forget to actually feel it. That's a truth bomb right there.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that friend.
You do. So Irina moves towards self-acceptance, this idea of be your own kind of happy, learning that vulnerability isn't weakness, letting people support her.
And then using her own pain to help someone else, like with Cindy, the kidney donation. That's a huge step.
It really is. Turning pain into purpose. It shows incredible growth and resilience, finding strength by helping others.
That really changes your perspective, doesn't it? When you reach out like that.
Definitely. And her idea of love expands too. It's not just romance. It's the power of that female friendship with Dani. Love showing up in unexpected ways.
So she stops hiding, starts choosing what's right for her.
Yeah. Embracing all the messy parts. Brilliantly, chaotically, breathtakingly Irina, as she puts it. Recognizing her own strength, her leadership.
So when we pull back, what are the big takeaways from Irina's journals?
Well, first, just how messy and complicated adolescence is, especially layered with immigrating. Second, the huge impact of love and connection in all its forms. Intense friendships that blur lines, romance that evolves, family you choose. And third, it's just a powerful story of resilience, figuring out who you are and finding strength even after loss.
Yeah, and like we said at the start, even though it's her specific story, those themes, belonging, identity, relationships, they feel so universal. You find yourself nodding along.
Absolutely. The aha moments might be in seeing those unconventional relationships, like with Dani, validated. Or maybe in her journey of finding her place by being more herself, not less.
It's really inspiring. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Irina's story shows relationships and identity don't always fit in neat boxes. So consider this. How might embracing complexity in yourself, in others, in relationships, actually lead to, deeper understanding and acceptance?
That's a great question. What parts of Irina's story resonated most with you? What other questions does it make you ask about your own experiences?
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this really personal deep dive.